Hello, everybody out in Facebook, YouTube land. How is everybody today? Make sure that you're checking in and commenting so that I know you are watching today. I think spring is finally here, yay! So I'm excited about that. And tell me what you're doing today. I have been crafting all morning because you know how I am. I decide on a live last minute and then I have to actually figure it out. So I have been crafting most of the morning, which has been really good actually. So hello Dagny, good of you to join. Hello Pam, hello Rhonda. What are you ladies up to today? Yes, it's a sunny Saturday. Hey, it's beautiful outside. Hello Lori and Melanie and Sharon. Hello ladies, thank you for watching today. Enjoying the sunshine, I know, isn't it wonderful? Oh, it's so nice. Hello Auntie. Cleaning, everybody's cleaning. It's a nice day. Sunshine, although I do know that when the sun shines out, you feel more energized, right? Oh, Rhonda, you're just relaxing. You got it going good. Oh, hello, Audrey. Nice of you to be joining us, too. Well, I'm glad. I didn't want you to miss either, Mel. That's awesome. Let's see. I'm just making sure I've got everybody here. I think I do. So, yeah. Well, that's a perfect way to be. That's the perfect day, Sharon. Awesome, hanging with your granddaughter. That's perfect. So speaking of that, she's probably a little young, but I do have finally these kits ready to go. I'm being gentle because it might tip over, but so these cute little kits, they are $20. They come with everything you need to complete, except for hot glue. You'll need a hot glue gun to do it, but everything else is included in the kit. The paint, the little bucket, the little sign, everything to make the flowers, the door, the little bird with the stump. So super cute. They come in pink or blue, so you can order them off the website. They're ready to go. So we have another week of spring break. Perfect craft. So if you know anybody, let them know that we have some crafts for the kids to do. And then of course we have my album class coming up. So I have 6 spots that have been, the paper's been picked and the spots have been paid for. So make sure this one I will have it running through Zoom. So you don't have to necessarily be here for it. My stock on the paper packs and the coordinating extras is running a little low. I am waiting for another shipment, which again, hopefully will come in before the class. So this class is on April 16th. You purchase the paper pack and the extras, which are both about $12.99-ish. And then the class itself that comes with the album and a few other things that you need for the class is $25. So you can go register for that online. If you're doing it virtual, make sure you click on virtual classes. If you're doing it in store, make sure you click in-person classes. And yeah, so that'll be Sunday, April 16th from 11 to 4. No, Dagny, not at all. It's not too late to switch in to come to town. It's not at all. That would be totally fine if you choose to do that. Just let me know if it's for sure. And yeah, no, it's not too late. We may, well, I mean, we only have 6 right now, but if more register and pay, then it might get a little squishy in here, but that's okay. It'll be fun. So that's that. Oh, hello, Lori. I'm glad you could join. Okay, so then not quickly, this is important. So next Saturday, Sunday, so that'll be April 1st and 2nd, I'm going to have a big inventory sale. I don't have it posted yet. That was on my to-do list this morning, and well, I've sat in this chair crafting all morning, so I have not got this on Facebook or on anything yet. It will be in store and online. Hopefully it'll all work good. So there's going to be 2 parts to it. there is going to be a sale on certain items in the store, which is set online. I've set it all up ready to go, so I'm really hoping that it will work out. And then I'm hosting the make your own mystery box for the clearance items again. And again, this will work online as well. You just have to check out in 2 different transactions. So you'll have to do the regular sale stuff first and then do your clearance stuff. And now how the clearance stuff's gonna work is there'll be coupon codes. So you will add the clearance items to your cart, and then you will go and look up the code depending on the amount of money that you spent. There will be a special code that'll give you an extra percentage off. So next Saturday and Sunday, even though I know the store's closed, it'll be a shop online day for everybody, I guess. And so what it's going to be is paper. Any paper in the store will be 30% off. All the wonderful transfer me's will be 30% off, which I just created a new beautiful display of them with a sample board even. And so yeah, as a kind of a celebration to me for yay, a good job, 30% off the transfer me's. Stamps, stencils, dies, 35% off. So come in for those. Any rub-on transfers, there's quite a few through 49 and Market. There's a few through Prima. They will be 25% off. And then paper glaze, glitter gel, loose glitter, that will be 40% off. So, yeah. Ah, yes, Lori, love sales. Of course you do. So make sure you watch the website for those. And anybody that's in town or want to come into town, feel free to do that next Saturday on April 1st. So the store hours will be 10 to 4 that day. If you're not able to make it in, shop online. It'll be perfect. And I will be probably still here working Sunday and Monday to pull the orders for everybody and get those together. So yes, feel free, shop, come in. Those will be some great sales, and I will have it all posted so that you don't have to remember what I just said. And then kind of how your make your own mystery box will work is if you spend up to $100 on clearance items, which it'll total it in your cart, then you'll get an extra 25% off. If you spend $150 in clearance, you'll get an extra 30% off. So it'll kind of work like that. But like I said, I will have a post coming up so that everybody knows what's going on and you don't miss out on anything. But so I just wanted to let you know, share it with your friends once you see the post, please spread the word. I want to just clear out a bunch of inventory and make room for some new stuff because I'm actually going to be doing a big order with a few other brands, bringing in some new brands, and so I need to make room, right? Sure, yep, no problem, Rhonda. Pay, that's fine. Just go online. It's all on there. Oh, you're killing me. Well, save up because next Saturday, Sunday will be the big day for us for another. I haven't had a sale for a while, since our 4th anniversary. That was the last sale. That was in October. So it's time, right? It's time for a sale. Time to clean out some stock. So let's do that. I want lots of help. I want you ladies all in here helping me out with that, okay? And I think that's all I have to say. So now let me show you and we'll get on with the demo, which isn't really going to be a huge demo. It's more just kind of going to be about me kind of talking and things, but I didn't really have an idea for today. And so I was just kind of going through some of the stuff I have here for use, right? And I came across these cover plate dies. Does anybody have cover plate dies at home? Do you use them? Have you purchased them? Do you use them to actually make cards? What they're supposed to be for? So here's an example of one. So it's card size, right? This one's actually exactly card size. It is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And so like, as you can see, this one is from Crafter's Companion for their Gemini machine. But it doesn't matter, you can use it for anything. So this is what it looks like. It's beautiful. It's actually really, really pretty. So I kind of seen this and I thought, oh, we should do something with the cover plates. And then I thought, well, we've been doing cards lots lately. And so I thought, okay, so if I have this cover plate, how can I adapt this to work on a scrapbook? You have them and you don't use them. Well, maybe after today you will use them. Let's hope I give you some good insight so that you can use them. So I thought, how can I use this? And of course, the first thought that comes to your mind is cutting a few different ones so that you could, you know, lay them out on a page and have it as a background. Yes, that would absolutely work for sure. And that was kind of my thought process to kind of start out with. But the problem is, not a problem, the choices that you have when you pick a cover plate die is that some of them cut an actual rectangle shape with the images cut out inside of it, and some of them just cut negative space. So what that means is they're not actually in a box, they just cut the design out so all the negative space comes out. So I thought, okay, well, there's got to be a way that no matter which die you have, you could make it work, right? Oh, you perfect. I'm glad that to see that you use them and you love them, Rhonda. That's awesome. So this is, ooh, there's a piece missing. That's okay. So this is one, right? It actually cuts out the design and it cuts out a frame, right? The one I just showed you, the Gemini one, it cuts out just negative space. So here is what it does, right? It doesn't actually cut out a frame. You could now go to your trimmer and cut out the frame, absolutely. But it doesn't, as the die, it doesn't come out. So this one you could actually, if you had your 12 by 12 still piece of paper or your 8-inch whatever, you could then put your die up and replicate and recut so that you would have a strip. But then you would have the outline on each side, right? Because you'd have to then hold this together and make your strip or your border for your page. Which is all fine and dandy. That's great. Hello, Kathy. Nice of you to join. So we're just talking about cover plate dies today. So I wanted to do a page, but I wanted to do it a little bit different. So what I ended up doing, I'm going to switch my camera here so that you can see the page I actually just put together. And so then I can show you a little bit more what I'm talking about. So what I decided to do is actually take, and I only used this Gemini one. This was the only one I used just because I got thinking. I thought, okay, I'm just going to use this one. And then afterwards I thought, oh, you know what? I actually could have used other styles and put them together with this one. But I'd already run it through and I already had my pieces. So I decided, let's just go with this one. You like the second one? This one? Is this the one you like? Hello, Sharon. Nice of you to join. We are just talking about cover plate dies and I'm explaining how I made this page. So what I decided to do was okay, so the first thing I did was I found an old paper pack kit, pieces of a kit that actually this is 2 paper packs because one was from one mini album I did and the other one's from a book album that I did. So these are both 3/4 designs, and you know how 3/4 designs, it comes with these cut apart sheets. It comes with a bunch of different items in here. So this was actually 2 different packages that I grabbed. So I found this and I thought, okay, I got scrap paper. So what am I going to do? I found one sheet of full 12 by 12 that I had left. And then I just went through and I found a few other colors that I kind of like that went with this gray black background paper. And then what I did was I cut out, so there's 3 different ones in here. There's this kind of a brownish colored one. I cut that out as this. This is how I cut it out, okay, like that. I found another one that was kind of a bit lighter, kind of a off-white, and then I have this darker green one here that I cut out. So what I did was I went through with my 3 other colors and I just cut this out like this. That's exactly how I cut it out. But I thought, so what can I do? So can you figure out what I did by looking at this page? My wonderful, spectacular idea for today. So anyway, any guesses? Any guesses before I continue on? I'll put my little special tool away there. So I took this, I cut it out in 3 different colors so that I would have it, and then I put together my scrapbook page. Guesses, come on, I know there's a lag, but let's have a guess. Quick. Okay. I know there's a bit of a lag and a few of you are probably guessing and a few of you probably got the right answer, but what I decided to do was take my scissors and actually cut out this design. And so how I did it was I cut right as if I was cutting this out. So I didn't leave a frame at all. I just cut it exactly out. Now, you see how there's this little swirl piece right here, this one that goes in, and there's a bit of a swirl. Instead of just cutting that straight, what you can do, because you're going to be using this, is you can cut it out in a bit of a swirl. Because it doesn't have to be flat, right? I mean, that I would touch that up, but you see what I mean? You don't have to just cut it flat. You can cut it out in the arch form that it is. Okay, same with this one. If you wanted to, you could cut your little circle out of here, right? Like that. And like I said, you could clean these up a little bit after. Then I would cut, so I'm trying to keep this as flat as possible. Cut there, cut that side off, right? So now you have this. Turn it, repeat it with, hopefully the music's not interrupting anybody. Can anybody even hear my music that I have on? I normally turn it off when I do a live, but I didn't know if it would bother people or not, so I just decided to let it be on today. Okay, so now we've got the second row here. Now I'm going down this side. Again, a little swirl that I might want to not have flat, so I'm going to do that. This. And everybody that's on here can give a shout out to Kelsey. She's in the store shopping while I'm doing this live, and she's being very, very quiet, but she's here, so she's going to get added to the draw. So everybody can say hello, Kelsey.
Hello.
Congratulations as being a married woman now. All right, because your grandma's watching and your aunt's watching. So we got some people. All right, so just finishing off here. I hope that you are kind of getting the idea of this. And some pieces might fall off when you cut. That's totally fine. Okay, so this is what you're left with. Okay, good. You can't hear the music. Perfect. Trim it. Yep, trim off the edges. A stencil. Well, you actually could use it as a stencil. That's right. So this is how I started. Okay, I cut all the edges off so that I had like a piece of ephemera. Now this is beautiful and you could use it like this, absolutely. But then what I did was I went through, actually I'll show you these bits that I did. So I took each one that I had cut out of the different colors and I went through, now hopefully you guys can see that. This brown one's a little bit hard to see on this brown mat, right? Oh, and then I gotta move it over so that you guys are seeing it past my face. So I went through this piece here and I cut out, there, shows up better on the white except for that one. I just cut out where I felt that I liked it to be separate. So whether you cut it through the middle here, I just kind of wanted to get it in bits that I thought were usable. So I feel like this is a good spot because see, it only is really hanging on by one spot. So I'm just going to cut here, release it from there, and then I would have to release it from in between here. So see if I can lift it up a little bit more so you guys can see. So I'm just going to cut it there, all right, and now it should be released into two separate pieces. So then you can continue on. You can use this piece as one of your pieces. You could use this as a piece, or you can keep going and you can figure out where is a good place to cut and just play around with it. I mean, it is just paper. Yes, paper costs, but use your inexpensive paper for this until you figure out what you like, how you like it cut. And so now I'm going to cut, I think I'm going to cut this kind of rounded on this side. So I'm going to cut that piece off. And then I'm going to cut this so that it mimics that kind of round shape a little bit. So out of that one piece, I now have three bigger pieces. Oh, I keep forgetting that I got to work on this side. Switch this over here. And then I went through with my other couple pieces, or my other few pieces, and each time I tried to cut them apart, I tried to cut them a little bit differently so that I didn't end up with these same 3 pieces for all of my cutouts. So I tried to cut them a little bit differently. So like here I have this one, and in my green one, I cut it a little bit different so that it really looks like 2 different pieces. However, it came from the same die. Okay, so then I thought, well, what about if you have a die that's a cover plate that cuts it like this? Now, what would you do for this one? So I thought, well, let's try it out and see. Now, as you can see, there's a couple fill-in spots here because my die didn't quite cut through, but I thought that doesn't really matter. It'll either come out now, or I'll cut it out or cut around that part. So if your cover plate's cut out this edge or this border, you can still do this design. Now I used this cover plate because it's quite lots of area versus this one is very swirly and filigree, where this one has a lot of area that is out of this one, right? There's not as much paper left over. So I thought this one would be a good one for kind of getting the opposite idea because it's got so much less paper area to work with. So I'm just cutting the border first. And honestly, you don't have to cut the border off. You could use the border on your pages. If you wanted to use the border, you absolutely could do that. So now that I have these pieces that I don't have my die for, or that my die didn't cut out, what I'm going to do is kind of the same sort of thing. Is I'm going to loop around here. So I'm going to loop and just kind of cut that one rounded, right, so that it's not cut square off. Same with this one, because I can't use it anyway. I'm gonna, hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Maybe if I put this white here so it covers that up. So just kind of cut so that this is rounded, right? And then cut this one, however, it could be rounded too, right? So now you start to see that I'm having this kind of edge like that. And the nice thing is that you can use it like this. You can cut it smaller into pieces. You can really customize this to work for your page however you want it to be. Now, the other reason that I really like this idea of using your cover plates on your scrapbook pages and making your own personal kind of ephemera is that the packages I showed you earlier, you know, those papers, and even now with your die cuts and the different ephemera that they have out there, you know, it comes with these, and especially now that so many of the paper packs are coming with the cut apart sheets and the fussy cutting that you have to do, sometimes the items just don't work for your page. They just don't work for your layout. There's just, the colors are nice, but the items that they give you for cut apart just don't work out. So this is a nice way to take any extra paper that you have, create things like this, and be able to use that on your pages and have it all still sort of coordinate. Now I'm just going to go through and I'm going to cut this one in half just so that you can kind of see how I may cut this one in half. So what I would do is, and I would have done this on the other one too, I just kind of wanted to show you a few options. But what I would do on this is I would get it cut in half, and then I would put this kind of maybe on my page where I'd want it to be, and then you can trim it. So say you don't like this piece right here, this little V, you can just trim it off, right? You don't maybe like this weird like horn thing sticking out the top, trim it off, right? So then maybe now you have something more like that. So there's one piece that you can use. Then same with this one. Now that I've cut that piece off, I have a whole bunch of these like cut off ends. So now maybe I want to, how will I do this? I'm going to start, oh yeah. So I'm going to do it like this, and I'm going to mimic kind of this corner here, right? So cut off, kind of cut that way, cut this way. Hopefully you guys are able to kind of see what I'm doing. So now you have this edge left from your cut pieces, and then you could say you could cut this off. If you wanted all disclosed shapes, then you get all disclosed shapes, right? So here's another one I did. This one's a little different. I'm going to go over probably 2 o'clock, but I wanted to show you another, which side's better? Maybe this side to cut. This one's pretty busy, it's hard to see. Okay, so we'll cut this side. So again, let's say that maybe you wanted to have a border because you wanted to be able to put it on your page. So then let's just start cutting and let's leave a bit of a border behind. And this one I thought was kind of cool because it's really, with all these circles and it being a geometric pattern, there was just so much you could do with it. So I'm just, no planning here, I'm just cutting. As normal, you guys should know that I never plan anything. So now you have a little corner piece. So let's say I grab my pattern paper that I have. I'm just going to use this ink drops. And we have a whole line of these ink drop papers and they're beautiful. They look like alcohol ink. Somebody has done a page up with alcohol ink and then just sort of copied it. It's very beautiful. So let's say that this is our page that we want. You know, now you have some beautiful cut pieces that you can, now hopefully you guys can see that. I'll just lift my page up a bit because I'm just sort of starting at the bottom corner here. Or you could, if it's easier to see, you know, you could put this in the bottom corner. You could have some of your flourishes coming out. You could have, see, if I would have been thinking before I did my first cutting, I would have probably cut out a few different shapes. Ooh, that one's kind of harder to see. But basically, I'll lift this up, oops, so that you can see. It's kind of falling off because I don't have it, but see what you can do with just your cover plate dies? A whole nother use for them. And whether they come with a border or they don't, it does not matter. You could make it work. And so even though I left the border on this piece, I could now go in with the rest of my piece here, and I could now just say cut out a centerpiece. So I could do like this. I'm just going to kind of go fast. I could cut out like, let's see. And then I could just go along the edge, and maybe here around the edge. Maybe I want to go straight now. Look, and then you have this piece that then you could apply to this. You can, and if you do double-sided paper, look at that. Then you can flip it over and you have even more opportunities for things, right? So I thought that this was just so neat to be able, I know as a crafter, and I mean, you guys are, I'm sure, the same as me, that when you purchase tools, it's always nice to know other uses for them. And I hadn't really considered other uses for the cover plate dies until today, honestly. But I do think that this is an amazing kind of a hack, I guess, can I call it that? That I kind of created a bit of a hack here to use your cover plate dies so that now they aren't just used for cards. They can actually be used for scrapbook pages. And I think, and I mean mini albums, for all of those junk journals. Like, honestly, all you're doing here is creating a bit different ephemera in a different way. But out of one cover plate, I mean, you get quite a bit of area to be able to use. And I wanted to show you how, you know, any cover plate you have, geometrics, you know, the swirl ones, it doesn't really matter. You can make them work. Now, tips and tricks, since you get to learn from my trial and error here, I would suggest, I mean, depending on how you guys are, maybe you don't mind using like fine tipped glue or whatever, but when I glued my swirls down, some of them are not down all the way because I hate using wet glue. And I, of course, did not think about this until after I had cut all my pieces. I would use the die cut and bond or the stick-it sheets we get from Sizzix, I think. Yeah, Sizzix has some. That stick-it might be its own brand. Put your sticky sheets on the back of these before you cut so that they become a sticker. And then when you have your pieces cut, you peel it and stick it down. And just think, you could spend half an hour or so or an hour just cutting all your cover plates. I don't know why I'm struggling with that word. All different pieces of your cover plate dies out. and then you could just play around with them, or you could keep them full and solid until you have a project in mind, and then do like what I did and then cut your piece out, right? So good. Now you have to go digging, Lori, find out what you have. Yeah, so this is beautiful paper too, Dorinda, absolutely. And this is the monochromatic one. You should see the bright colored ones. They are amazing. So I did pick, just before everybody goes here, I did pick, I'm gonna switch my view back. So then again, afterwards, after I had my page completed, I thought, I don't even know what I have in the store for cover plate dies, honestly. I look at them lots, but because I guess they haven't seemed to be in high demand, I tend to maybe only bring a few in. So I didn't actually have a lot. So I will show you what I do have. So this one would be really nice. This is a paper rose one, and I think that could really look cool. And it has, oh no, it does cut out the rectangle, so you would have that. But I do think the shapes would be very, very cool. The other thing you could do is cut two, tape two together, or glue two together, or three together, and have a bit of a thicker ephemera bit, right? So I have that one. And I have this one from Sizzix. So it's like a bit of a more of a flower design, which is okay. You could, if you were doing a flowery type page, this would be perfect for that. Or you could cut the flowers out and just use the foliage, which would be nice as well. And then I didn't have, this one isn't technically a cover plate. This one's actually for a border, but this would work great too, because you could cut the little, you know, little zigzags and just have like your broken, a brick piece that looks like a broken chunk, right? So that would be very cool too. So just a couple more things. So then I was just thinking, as I was going through these, I was thinking, you know what then would be cool is, say you have this cover plate, which if anybody wants this, I can see if I can get it. What's it called? Grande with an E, Grand Swirl. So I can look into getting this if anybody wants this. They probably would cut through, yes, they would cut through thin chipboard. And the reason that I know that is because when I did my masterboard class, we started our masterboard with like from a cereal box. And then we applied our paper and our stamping and all of that to it. And then we cut it out with just a thin cut tag. Now with some of these more delicate ones, you'll definitely want to make sure that you run it through 2 or 3, 4 times, possibly even with a shim. And you may still end up fussy cutting some parts of it because these dies aren't technically meant for the thicker stuff. They are technically meant for cardstock. But if you were okay with some X-Acto knifing or some craft knifing and to finish it up, absolutely. No, this one's not only for the Gemini. That's just the brand that it is. I have the Big Shot. I just use this to cut out my items for today. So no, it's not for the Gemini. Those that's just the brand of it. It's just like Sizzix. Sizzix is their own brand. This is just the Gemini brand. So that's all it is. So back to my story. Sorry, I sort of got sidetracked there. So I was looking at this and I thought, you know, this page that I did is really great and it's beautiful. And I honestly just sort of threw it together because you know how I am, leave things to last minute. But look, you could have a coordinating stencil that's very, very similar. Let me see if I can hold up a piece here. Or there might even be other sort of filigree swirl stencils. But look, you could then use your cover plates, cut out some ephemera, and then also find a stencil that could coordinate. And then think of the scrapbook pages and the junk journals and the mini albums you could make. Because now you are making items to mimic your stencils so that you could stencil, you could texture paste on your pages, and then you could cut out with your cover plate dies and you could have pieces that mimic. So I sort of thought these two looked good together. And honestly, I just grabbed this one because I'd used it earlier and I had it and I thought, well, that's pretty close, but there's probably even ones closer. This one, which is an old cover plate die I had from Tailored Expressions, but I'm sure it's pretty standard shape, so I'm sure that you could find another cover plate die for this. But look at this stencil. That's almost exactly the same pattern. So just think of how cool it would be to ink, to texture paste, like I said, to whatever through your stencil, and then take your cover plates, and now you're making your own ephemera that would go with your stencil pattern. And then, I mean, even this one that's a brick, I mean, there's hundreds of brick stencils out there, right? So maybe I'll do that on the next class. I'll show how, you know, those can be combined, right? And it can be like a little series, because that's the thing. I like to be able to take the tools that I have and to be able to use them for other things, right? So let me know. You would like one, Pam? I can see what I can do about ordering that. I will look into it. It is a beautiful cover plate. Like, wow, these are, I'm a swirl person, or a flourish. I used to always call these flourish. So I love these. I tend to gravitate towards them just like I do with snowflakes. So I think that they're beautiful, and the fact that this is what it cuts out, like these pieces are amazing, amazing. I mean, look at this one, it's so amazing. I kind of put my hand behind it. Actually, I can turn it over because it's white on the other side. Now look at that. Like crazy that is what you can get out of a cover plate die. Okay, so who has cover plate dies? Who knows they do? I know a couple of you have already commented, but who has them, and who is now going to go to their craft stock and see what they have and are going to try this technique? Let me see, like a like, thumbs up, hands up, a yes, that's me. I'm going to do that. And if you do it in the next few days, week, whatever, please post it to Instagram, to our Facebook page, message it to me, and I can do it, because I would love to see where you guys could take my idea. And honestly, this was like off the top of my head this morning. I'd love to see where you go from here. So make sure if you do it, let me know. Text me, comment. I can always post it if you guys can't. I don't know how my page, how I have it set up for posting, but yeah, show me. I want to see it. So I hope. Oh, good. Yeah, Rhonda. Yeah. Let's see what you do with it, okay? So yeah, let me know. Did you guys like this today? Honestly, it was just, what am I gonna do today? So this is what had happened. But you feel they won't work? You know what? You might have one, Kathy. Perfect. Go check it out. Even like I said, these kind of border ones, you know, they would work as well too. There might be some other styles of dies that might work good too. Pam, this will work. I did not know what was going to come of this today until I started. So just try it. Just play. Give it a go. Because something like this, I mean, how could you go wrong with that design, right? So I'm just trying to make it so it shows up. Like, how could you go wrong with that? Trim it, cut it, whatever. Even if you ended up with one little clover pattern or whatever this is, so what? It's good. All right, well, I've kept you guys long enough. I'm gonna run here, I gotta go. So thank you again for joining today, watching. I hope I inspired some of you, or all of you, to try this out. And like I said, make sure you post or let me know, because I would love to see it. I feel like this could really be, you know, I could see everybody running with this. So take care, see you next Saturday, and